Are you constantly battling the clock, feeling overwhelmed by endless tasks, and struggling to achieve your goals? Imagine transforming your daily chaos into a structured, productive routine that propels you towards success. In today's episode of Wholeness Wednesdays, we'll unveil powerful time management strategies designed to boost your productivity and help you accomplish your dreams. Stay tuned to discover how to take control of your time and your life.
Good morning, or good afternoon, or maybe it's evening. It doesn't really matter what time it is, and it doesn't even matter where you are. We want to welcome you to Wholeness Wednesdays. So grab a cup of coffee or tea and join our host, Beatrice Hutcherson, as we explore and experience our journey to complete wholeness.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Completely Whole's Wholeness Wednesdays. I'm your host, Beatrice Hutcherson, and today we are delving into a topic that can transform your life: time management, effective time management. And so, our title today is 5 time management tips to help you boost productivity and to help you achieve your goals. Imagine accomplishing your goals with ease and still having time for what you love. Stay tuned as we reveal actionable strategies to boost your productivity and help you achieve your dreams. The first section I'd like to talk to you about is the power of prioritization. Let's start off by understanding what prioritization is. Not all of our tasks are created equal, and I'm sure that you would agree. Identifying what truly matters is the first step towards effective time management. The first technique I'd like to talk to you about is called the Eisenhower Matrix. And so this tool helps to categorize tasks based on urgency and importance. So the first one is urgent and important. So these tasks require immediate attention. Next is important but not urgent. So these tasks can be scheduled for later. Urgent but not important. These are tasks that can be delegated to others if possible. And then you have not urgent and not important. So these tasks you could possibly eliminate. But by focusing on what's truly important, you can allocate your time more effectively, and that's the purpose of that tool. Now I'd like to talk to you about goal setting with the SMART framework. And so now you may have heard me talk about the SMART goal planning before. And so here we want to talk about goal setting using that framework. And so if you recall, S stands for specific, which means clearly define your goal. M is for measurable. You want to make sure that you determine how to track that progress. A for achievable, ensure the goal is realistic. R for relevant, align the goal with your broader objectives. And time bound, set a deadline for completion. So for example, instead of saying, I want to get fit, specify, I will jog 30 minutes every morning for the next 3 months. And so you see how that's different in that it is very specific and it is also time bound. The next section I'd like to talk to you about is time blocking for focused work. So let's talk about implementing time blocking. Allocate specific time slots for different tasks throughout the day. The first one is deep work. So you want to have periods dedicated to tasks requiring intense focus. Then you want to have your administrative tasks, which you would schedule times for like emails and other types of routine activities. Then breaks. You want to make sure you schedule for regular intervals to rest and rejuvenate. And so this method reduces multitasking and enhances concentration, right? So it gives you that time to also schedule in some breaks, which is very important. The next section I'd like to talk to you about is the Pomodoro technique. And so let's talk about how this works. So you work intensely for 25 minutes, then you take a 5 minute break. So after 4 cycles of this, you take a longer break of 15 to 30 minutes. So 25 minutes intensely, and then you take a 5 minute break. And then you go back intensely and work for another 25 minutes, and then take another 5 minute break. But once you get to 4 cycles of that, then you want to take a longer break, right? 15 minutes to 30 minutes. And so this approach maintains high levels of focus and it prevents burnouts, right? Because you're focusing intensely for a shorter period of time. And so it does prevent the burnout. The next section I'd like to talk to you about is minimizing distractions. So you want to identify what common distractions are for you. So recognize what typically diverts your attention, such as social media, emails, phone notifications, any of those sorts of things. You want to identify what it is for you. And then you want to develop some strategies on how to reduce those interruptions. And so some that I'll suggest to you, you want to designate specific times for checking messages. So instead of constant monitoring throughout the day and checking emails throughout the day, you want to make sure that you set a time to check those emails, those messages, whatever monitoring that you do. You want to set them at set intervals. You want to check them at set intervals as opposed to throughout the day, right? So set specific times in order to be able to do that. Next, you want to create a dedicated workspace. So you want to set up an area free from distractions to help enhance your focus. So what that means is that you need to have a designated space that is away from traffic and distractions, and someplace that could really, really promote focus and concentration. And so depending on what that is for you, you wouldn't want to have a designated space where you have clutter or that you have items that might get you off track, right? That may distract you. So you want to make sure that it is free of clutter, that it is free of any items that would distract you. And then you want to use website blockers, and that's something we don't talk about often. But there are tools that help you to block when things just pop up on your screen, right? So these tools restrict the access to distracting websites during your work periods, right? So if you're there working and then things pop up, it could divert your attention, right? It may be something of interest to you, maybe, something pertaining to one of your hobbies or something that you enjoy doing, right? And so that will definitely take you off course. And so it's important that these are small things, but they can make big impact if you implement them. And so please understand, mastering time management is a continuous journey. It doesn't happen overnight, much like the journey to wholeness that we talk about here, right? It doesn't happen overnight, but it is a continuous journey. And it requires self-awareness and adaptability, right? So you have to be flexible and give yourself grace, but you have to be self-aware, because we talked about setting goals, understanding what distracts you. All of those sorts of things are going to cause you to have to really reflect inwardly to identify those items, right? And also identifying your goals and all of those things. So you want to make sure that you are self-aware and that you also are flexible, right? You want to be able to adapt to any changes that you may need to make. And by prioritizing those tasks and setting clear goals and structuring your day and also minimizing distractions, you can enhance your productivity and move closer to achieving your aspirations. So remember, the goal is not to fill every moment with work, right? But to make your time for work, make it something that works for you, right? So you want to make it a time of productivity. You want it to be something that works for you, and you don't want to fill every single moment with work, right? You want to schedule in, I talked earlier about those breaks. You want to schedule in those breaks as well, because that is very important so that you can rejuvenate and get back to the task. So please take into consideration the things that we talked about tonight. Some helpful tips, not huge tips, very small tips that can become habits that you can work into your day to day that could really prove to bring about or promote big impacts by way of helping you to be more productive throughout your day. So, thank you for joining us on this episode of Wholeness Wednesdays. Again, I am Beatrice Hutcherson, and I encourage you to take control of your time and, in turn, take control of your life. All right, so we started doing challenges each week, right? So, because here on this channel, we're very much about not just being hearers, but also being doers, right? So, we want to be able to put into practice immediately those things that we hear. Sometimes we put it off and then we never get around to it. But immediately that we hear something, we want to be able to put it into practice so that we can see how it really can impact our time management, because that's what we're talking about today. But all of our steps are practical strategies to help you move toward wholeness, to move towards your goal. And so this challenge for this week, it is a week-long challenge, and I'm going to talk to you about what that is. So, remembering that we're talking about time management, right? Effective time management. Please understand that embarking on a journey to master time management can significantly enhance your productivity and overall well-being, because you're able to feel more accomplished, you stay encouraged, and you build that momentum to be able to keep going, therefore allowing you to be more productive in every day, right? That's the goal. And so you want to put the strategies that we talked about today into practice, right? Be doers of what we hear, right? And so I want to challenge you to do or join us in this 1 week challenge. It's called the 1 week time management transformation challenge. And so here is how it will work. So number one, right? So we're going to go back and do a quick recap on all the things that we talked about. Step number one, set clear goals, right? So at the start of the week, identify 3 specific achievable goals that you would aim to accomplish, and then ensure those goals are measurable and relevant and time bound, and make sure that it will work towards your personal and professional growth. Also, prioritize tasks using the Eisenhower matrix. Remember, so each day categorize your tasks based on the urgency and importance. Remember, urgent and important, those are the items that need immediate attention. Then important but not urgent, those are the things that you could put off for later. And then urgent but not important, those are tasks that can be delegated to others. And then not urgent, not important, those are things that you can just eliminate altogether. And so you want to focus primarily on the tasks that are important, right? Allocating your time and your energy accordingly. Next, implement the time blocking that we talked about. Designate specific time slots for each task or group of tasks throughout the day. Include periods for deep work, remember, administrative duties, and your personal activities. Ensure you allocate time for breaks. Don't forget about those breaks. Very important. It helps you to maintain mental clarity and to help prevent burnout. Next, we want to apply the Pomodoro technique. So remember, we're working intensely for 25 minutes in 25-minute intervals, right? So working 25 minutes intensely, those are called Pomodoros, and then we follow it with a 5-minute break, right? And so once we do 4 sets of those, then we will break for a longer period of time, for 15 to 30 minutes. And so this method enhances focus and productivity by segmenting your work into manageable intervals. Next, we want to minimize distractions, right? We want to identify those common distractions in our environment, such as social media, email notifications, whatever it is to you. Any background noise, any things in your environment that could be distracting. So implement the strategies to reduce the interruptions, right? So you want to be able to set a specific time to check your emails and messages. You want to create a dedicated clutter-free workspace. You want to use website blockers during those work periods. And you also want to reflect and adjust, right? So as you're doing this day by day, you will notice that it may get a little easier as you move throughout the day, because then you start to get used to what the cadence is, used to what the flow is, right? And so at the end of each day, you want to also take a moment, review your accomplishments, and identify the areas that may need improvement. Think about how it went and see where you may need to make adjustments. So adjust your strategies as needed, right? Because you want to enhance efficiency and productivity for the following day, right? And if we do it appropriately, then it will certainly work. You want to also share your progress. Think about it. You can share with someone that is nearby you. If you have an accountability partner, you can also share it with them, so that they can help you, talk through it, and help you to stay on task and stay focused with what you're trying to accomplish. They can serve as an encourager, right? Someone that be able to uplift you as you move throughout this process. But I promise you, each day it will get easier as you work through it, and then the following day will be more efficient than the prior day, right? Because you're learning the process and you're learning to reflect and to adjust where needed. And then next, we want to make sure that you engage with the community, right? So we're doing this challenge here. I want to make sure that you stay linked with us, right? And so we want you to share the progress, your challenges, your successes, what worked for you, what didn't work for you. We want you to be able to share that. So let's keep the conversation going. I'd love to hear from you on how it went for you. And so start with small steps, and each day, the steps that we talked about, but each day continue it. Don't give up. Do it. I challenge you to do it for a straight whole week and see how it can really change your life. And so engaging with others as we communicate and continue to be in contact with one another can help. We can encourage one another, and we serve as an accountability partner to each other, right? And we can also gain additional insights from one another. And so by committing to that 1 week challenge, you not only apply effective time management techniques, but you'll also develop habits that can lead to sustained productivity and goal achievement. All right, so I do want to say thank you so much for all of you that have joined us tonight and who have joined this journey towards wholeness, because that is what we are after. So please don't forget to like, share, subscribe if you'd like to hear or receive more Wholeness Wednesday content. Please stay connected to us. And again, I'm Beatrice Hutcherson, and remember, your journey to complete wholeness starts here. And as we end together, as we always do, let us affirm together. Please repeat after me. I decree that I will be a better steward of my time. And I declare that I will master time management to promote optimal productivity. My prayer for each of you is that you will receive healing and complete wholeness in every area of your life. Let's make 2025 a year of exponential growth and success. Until next time, take care of yourself, mind, body, and soul. Stay blessed and be made whole.
We thank you for sharing this time with us here at Wholeness Wednesdays. Thank you for joining us to explore and experience this journey to complete wholeness. Please remember that we are only an email away. Your questions and input are welcome via bhutch@completelywhole1.com. See you next time here at Wholeness Wednesdays.